Everyday people working 9 to 5, saving up that money, trying to survive, investing in the future, trying to be wise. You gonna be money heroes. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nick Johnson, host of Everyday Money Heroes, and I've reached early retirement. I'm here to provide information on how to obtain financial independence and inspire you through sharing stories of everyday people who are turning knowledge into freedom.
That hustle, always reaching for the sky. We're gonna be money heroes, never gonna shy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Everyday Money Heroes. We provide information and inspiration to people of all ages to take control of their financial journey. I am your host, Nick Johnson, and today we have Jason Butler. But first, I want to ask you all, if you have not, to subscribe to the channel. If you're on any podcast platforms, that you will follow us as well. We greatly appreciate the show of support and love. But back to our guest, Jason Butler is the founder of My Money Chronicles, a go-to site where he shares practical insights on personal finance, side hustles, travel, and more. Hailing from Atlanta, Georgia, Jason is a proud graduate of Savannah State University, where he earned his BA in marketing. He's been featured in Forbes, Discover, and Investopedia, and has built a name for himself by helping people create multiple streams of income. Today, we're diving into one of his specialties, using eBay as a powerful side hustle and revenue stream. You're definitely going to want to take some notes. Let's welcome Jason Butler to the podcast. Hello, Jason.
Hey Nick, how you doing today?
I am doing just fine, sir. Thank you for your willingness to come here. I met Jason, about 3-4 years ago at a conference in Orlando.
Yes,
That's
sir.
when
Yes,
we
sir.
originally met. Our paths have crossed a few times, and I'm happy to have him here because one of the things that we really stress here on Everyday Money Heroes is that, hey, we can reduce our debt, but also we need to try to increase our revenue. And one of those things in which we can achieve that through is a side hustle or the opportunity. Sometimes our side hustle becomes a full-time hustle, but for most people, it starts off as a side hustle. And so Jason specializes in many things. And one of those things would be eBay. And so we want to go ahead and invite him here because I know for a fact I got a son, and my son likes nice tennis shoes, and his feet are constantly growing. So I'm like, maybe this would be an opportunity. I can go ahead and I can take some of these shoes, maybe put them on eBay and get some of that hard-earned money back that I put into them. So first of all, Jason, what I want to ask you is, for someone who is brand new to eBay, what are the very first steps that they should take to start selling and making money? How would you suggest they do that?
Let me see. If you're brand new to eBay,
Mhm.
the first steps you should do is actually create your account. It's free to create a store. Um, well, actually, it's free to create an account. You don't really need a store when you're first starting out. You can start selling items, start listing items, and if you actually like it and want to sell like in bulk, what I mean in bulk is about 200 items or more per month, then you could create a store. But the first thing
Okay.
you need to do would be to sign up, get your free sign up for the free version of the account, and just figure out what you want to sell and try to sell it. And it's pretty easy. Like there's tons of videos. I have articles on my website on how to create, how to set up an eBay account. So it's super duper easy. Like pretty much anybody can do it.
Okay. Well, Jason, what got you into it? Because I know a lot of times we're on the consumer side of eBay, but a lot of us aren't necessarily on the vendor side. So what made you decide to kind of make that jump and do that?
Man, it's crazy. Like I've always been like a hustler, like doing different side hustles over the years. Like I remember in college, I sold a couple of books on eBay, and I didn't really think nothing of it. But after college, I'm gonna keep it real. Like I needed some money,
Okay.
so I started selling things on and off between the years of like 2010 to like 2012. Around 2013, 2014, like when I started my websites and my side hustle journey for real. I got a little bit serious doing it. I started going to thrift stores, started going to yard sales and estate sales. And in 2016, I started doing that every weekend
Mhm.
and literally just buying stuff, flipping stuff, and was doing pretty good with it for like doing pretty good with it for a while when I was doing it almost full time every weekend.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so I heard you saying estate sales. So are you going there? Um, are you going there? 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 is there any limit to what you're getting? So are you just getting like small items, or are you like, you know what, that's a nice sofa, that's a deal. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll buy that sofa. What do those things kind of look like that you're getting?
Man, the crazy thing is, I was honestly just thinking about, man, if I had a truck, I could actually go hard and purchase big items or heavier type of things.
Hmm.
But now I don't get big items. Like what I usually do, I have like a certain amount of items that I look for, such as tennis shoes, like you said earlier about your son liking shoes. Like I'm a
Okay.
huge shoe person myself. Like I love Jordans, love Nikes
Mm.
and stuff like that. So I know they sell. So I go to the thrift stores or to the yard sales. I look for tennis shoes. I look for like new board games or like old vintage board games. I used to do a whole lot of Starbucks coffee mugs, but they don't sell as good as they used to. And then I also
Mm.
do like a lot of sports stuff, such as jerseys, baseball gloves, and bobbleheads.
Oh, bobbleheads. Okay, I got you. So those are kind of so are those the items that you would recommend someone just kind of get started with, or would you say, hey, you know what, even before you go
Yeah.
out, do some spring cleaning around the house, look at what you can get rid of. How exactly would you tell them to kind of
Yeah,
strategize around that?
you got a couple things that you do. First off, I tell anybody to start with what they know. Just like,
Mhm.
for example, if you don't know shoes or if you don't like sports, you may mess around and just waste your money buying stuff.
Mm.
So start with what you know. Just like, for example, I know a lot of ladies like purses and things in that nature. Like, I don't know anything about purses,
Okay.
but a lot of women love purses. They know about them. So if if a lady that loves purses and they're thinking about selling something, start with the purses, start with other things such as like blouses or dresses or stuff like that. So
Mhm.
100% start with what you know. And then the
Mm.
second tip, start with what you have in your house. If you have things under your bed, things in your closet, and it's just collecting dust, actually do some research to see if you can make money off of it. And if you can, clean it up and list it online.
Okay, so almost similar to what I hear people say about real estate is that a lot of times people try to invest in areas they're not familiar with. What you're saying right
Yeah,
now is go with what you know.
go with what you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
So.
like it's crazy. Like over the years, I've talked to so many people who started this side hustle and just wasted their money just because they didn't go about it the right way. They
Mhm.
wasted, they bought things. Like if you go to a thrift store, you'll see like hundreds of pair of shoes depending on where you go.
Mhm.
But it's a reason that most of those shoes are in the thrift store, meaning that they're like old models or they're dirty or even have holes or they just not popular enough to sell and make money off of.
Okay. So we've identified that, you know what, let's start around the house, go with what you know. So I've
Mhm.
got this stuff here. How do I know, like, how can I determine the right price for something? I got it, say for instance, I might have bought it for $50 and I'm like, you know what, I've only had this for a little bit. I'm gonna just sell it for $45. How do I know what I should list this for on eBay?
Okay, excellent question. What I tell everybody to do is get their cell phone. Your cell phone is your number one important thing when it comes to like researching items that you don't know. With
Mhm.
your cell phone, add the eBay app to the phone. From there, you can do one or two things. You can actually take an image of the picture through the eBay app, and then
Okay.
from there, it will show you if it's selling, and there's a section on there where you can see how much the item has recently sold for. That's
Mm.
one.
Okay.
Sometimes the image search does not always work. So you can actually go in and type the name of an item, like give some details, and it'll basically show you the same thing. And from there, you can see how many sold recently. You can see the prices, and by seeing the prices, you can gauge what you want to sell it for.
Okay. And so I definitely didn't know this. So you're saying you can actually take your phone, take a picture of the item that you think about putting online, and there's a
Yep.
possibility it can actually go and it'll search and it'll give you some of the current information on the item that you think about selling.
Basically, yeah, just like
Mhm.
for example, let's stay with the shoes. All right, let's just say somebody wanted to sell some Jordan 4s. Um, take a picture of the Jordan 4s. It'll show you the Jordan 4s that basically recently sold. And to be honest, it'll probably show you the ones that recently sold within the last maybe 4 to 5 months. And then from there, you can basically you can have it, you can organize it by the date or the price. And what I
Mhm.
usually like to do, I organize the thing by the price so I can start off to see what's the higher amount that it sold for all the way down to the least amount. And I usually do my price in something in the middle unless I know it's gonna be like a for sure seller, real
Mhm.
something or something to sell super fast.
Okay, I got you. Well, I'm gonna give you a sneak preview of a question I'm gonna ask you. Question I'm gonna ask you is what's been your best sell on eBay? I'm wait for the end to do that one, but
Okay.
you go ahead and just
Okay.
kind
Yeah.
of
Wait till
process
the
it right now in your head
okay.
because I want to see what kind of payday it turned out for you. So you done told us about how to get started. You done told us how to get some ideas about how to right pricing, but now we've done ourselves. But what about we have to create a listing? So are there
Mhm.
certain things that we can put in the listing that makes it stand out? Or is it, number of pictures? Or is there certain things we can put inside our listings to make it kind of stand out and sell quickly?
Yep. I know back in the day when I first started doing eBay, you used to could only put about 12 pictures.
Mhm.
Now you can put, I think, either 24 or 36. I want to say it's 24.
Okay.
Put as many pictures of the item as possible, especially if it's something used. Like if it's shoes, take pictures of the sides. Make sure you get the sole of the shoe, the
Mm.
back, the front, even the tongue. The
Mhm.
amount of pictures that's amount of pictures that's very important. Also like have a good listing. Like don't just put Air Jordan 4s. You should put Air Jordan 4s, cement, black and red, or white and red, or white and black, or whatever color they are.
Mhm.
Plus, whether they're for men or women, and the size. Then you should
Mhm.
also put with box or no box. And then from there, you can go to the description. And I can't lie, lately I've been letting AI create the descriptions for me. It
Okay.
works pretty good and it's straight to the point and it has the keywords in there. So
Oh,
you
okay.
do that. You also make sure that you have a good decent price. You figure out if you want to do selling, I mean, if you want to do shipping, or if you want to have your potential buyer pay for the shipping. And then last but not least, something that I do, and unfortunately, well, I don't know, unfortunately is the right word, but over the last 3 to 4 years, eBay has become pay to play, basically
Mhm.
meaning that if you turn ads on for your items, you may have a better chance of selling most of them.
Mhm.
And pretty much with the ad thing is you just click a button and you can do anywhere from 2% to like 50% of your sale will go to eBay if it sells. So
Oh, okay.
I do my ads for 2 to 3% because I realized when I was doing no ads, my sales were not doing anything.
Mm.
Like literally like a couple like last year, I had a 30-day stretch with zero sales. And that was honestly the first day. That was the first time that ever happened. So I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
let me go
Okay.
ahead and turn these ads on.
Okay. So when you turn the ads on, basically it's almost like promoting the product and basically.
That's exactly what it's doing. It's promoting the product. It's pushing it higher in the searches when people look
Mhm.
for it. So basically, it's helping you get more sales. And to be honest, the 2 to 3% is not that bad.
Mhm.
But for me, shoot, man, like I'm using this money to like pay off debt and also stack my account.
Mhm.
I want as much as my money to come to me as possible. I don't want to really be paying them ads too.
Right. No, I understand that. And kind of what you say, this is a additional revenue stream for you. You're able to go ahead
Mhm.
and take it, you're able to go ahead, you able to, pay down some debt, you're able
Yep.
to utilize that money just, whether it's a emergency fund or invest in the stock market.
Yep.
And that is oftentimes what people they feel like they don't have any gap in like what they're making versus their bills. And so this
Yep.
is a way that somebody can go ahead, some stuff that you already got, and go ahead and turn that into something that is profitable for you. So
I was just about to say it's one of the ways that you can try to get ahead of the system. And
mhm.
basically, because like you said, it's always you get your money from your job, then you got to pay the bills. Money from the job, pay the bills. This side hustle will definitely help you
Mhm.
do better, to be honest.
Mhm.
Especially in this climate too, like the way the society, the way economy is right now, it's
Mhm.
up and down. The stock market's going up and down, so
Right.
it's always good to have that extra bread coming in.
Okay. So it seems like to me, Jason, this eBay is like it's not something that's seasonal for you. It's kind of like you're always looking for an opportunity or a good deal to put some on eBay. Is that a safe assumption?
It used to be like
Okay.
it's crazy. Like it used to eBay used to be my number one side hustle. And
Okay.
then I started making money with my like started making a good amount of money with my website, but that
Hmm.
actually went down a little bit. So I'm kind of like back focusing on eBay a little bit more. Like
Hmm.
I'll never go to thrift stores every Saturday again, ever again though, because
Hmm.
it's just not worth it because the thrift stores they done got a little bit smarter too. Things
Hmm.
aren't as cheap as they used to be. Like
Right.
I could used to get Jordans for like $7 or $8. I go in there now, I see some of them for like 18.99. And if the Jordan is if I see the Jordan for 18.99, I'm thinking, okay, let's see if let's just round that up to 20. Will I be able to make $60 off this shoe? Most majority of the time, no, not right
Yeah.
now, not in this climate. Three
Hmm.
years ago, I wouldn't worry about the Jordans costing $18.99 because I'd be able to at least triple or quadruple that. But now, like this last year and a half has been the weirdest ever with eBay. That's one of the reasons I stopped focusing on it so much because it was definitely weird when it comes to selling things, but I definitely see it coming back around though.
Mhm. Yeah. So let me ask you this question, Jason. Say, for instance, we're still talking about kind of items that you can sell. I know that here where I am in Jacksonville, they, and maybe I'm assuming that maybe they got this some other places. They have almost like these Amazon return stores
Mhm.
where, like, basically go in there and it's like stuff that people, have decided to return to Amazon, they selling them.
Yeah.
So what could that be a viable alternative, say for somebody who's like, okay, I'm not going to necessarily try the thrift stores. Maybe I'll go ahead and I'll try like one of these Amazon return stores or something of that nature. Is that something that they can
It
do?
is. It can
Mm,
be a good alternative, but again, you got to research
okay.
because I've purchased a couple of boxes from like return boxes. Like there's a
Mm,
website called bulk.com, and it's pretty much like either extra items or items that have been returned.
mm,
And when I bought the bulk boxes, I sold the items pretty good. Like it took me about a month or a month and a half to sell everything.
mm,
But if you're new getting into the game, you want to make sure you do your research because you want to actually look at the like with bulk when you purchase the before you purchase the box, you can look at the manifest and it tells you exactly what comes with it. Some of the
sure.
boxes has images, so you need to research every item and see if it's worth the sale. When
Mm,
it comes to like those Amazon like returns and stuff like that,
mm,
some of them are hit, they could be hit or miss. Like you could sell
mm,
some of that stuff may sell, some of that stuff may not because I've seen like I've purchased a couple eBay stores from people who've bought some Amazon stuff and they had that stuff sitting for like a year or two.
oh,
So I'm just
wow.
like, yeah,
Okay.
like for me, my thing is try to get items in, try to get them in and get them out as quick as possible, like around 3 to 4 months. I ain't trying to have that to sit around. I don't want things to sit around the house for a long time.
Okay, I got you. So first of all, it's buyer beware that you want to make
Yeah,
sure that you understand everything that you're getting when you sign up for that. So
sure.
definitely. All right. So say for instance, I done got me a few sales under my belt now. So I'm not necessarily a vet, but I ain't a rookie no more. So
Okay.
at this particular point, how do you think? How would you recommend, or maybe you could share how someone who wanted to do more, how they could scale? Would that be that particular point you decide to get a store versus just kind of having a regular buyer account, or what does like scaling look like for it?
Yeah, for me, scaling would be getting more items in and opening up a store because with the
Mm,
store you do get some discounts. You get a $25 not a credit, but you get $25 to spend on like eBay supplies each month. You get access to more research tools. You also get what else? You get a couple other things I can't remember right now. But the quick way to scale would be to either you can do it a couple ways. Like I know you don't as one person you can only go to so many thrift stores and so many yard sales and stuff like that.
mm,
But you can reach out to people that's in your network, such as family, friends, let them know what you're doing and see if they want to donate things to you. That's one thing you could do. Number two, you could, like you were saying, you could actually purchase those Amazon return boxes or go to bulk.com and buy boxes like that. Number
mm.
three, there's tons of websites out there like estatesales.com, not estatesales.com, but there's a website out there where you can buy those storage places. Like you can
Oh, okay. I
yeah,
know what you're talking about.
you can put bids on storage units
Hmm.
and shoot, some of them storage units be having $100 to $200 worth of things.
Hmm.
Um, and you can just put bids on it. And if you win the bid, you can go to the storage unit and you go through it and see if it's stuff you want to keep. And if you keep it, if it's some good things in there,
Hmm.
take it to the crib and you may have a hundred different items to sell.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so that's definitely one thing. Like what I do right now, I actually go to shopgoodwill.com.
Hmm.
Shopgoodwill.com is the Goodwill's website, but it's from like Goodwills all over the country. And basically,
Okay.
with being all over the country, you can you can bid on everything. Like I actually just had a package of 3 football jerseys just come in today.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so I actually watched the jerseys. about an hour and a half ago, and they're just hanging around to dry. And then I'll probably take pictures of them tomorrow and get ready to list them.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that Goodwill
Yep.
actually had an online store
Yep. It's
like
called,
that.
yep, shopgoodwill.org or .com, but I think it's .org actually.
Okay, that's great. Oh, that's awesome. Well, all right, we talked about how to get started. We talked about scaling. Now I guess one of the other things we also talked about some of the mistakes that people can make as far as like trying to get bulk stuff, not doing any research and things like that. So I guess from a financial perspective, you made mention to how eBay has attributed to some of the financial goals
Yep.
that you have. And so I guess my question here would be, how can an individual kind of stay focused. I guess because at the beginning you might not hit out the park the first time, right? And so
Now you
just
won't. You
you
won't.
know,
You
just
definitely won't.
as far as the mindset when it comes to like, hey, how much time do you think that someone should give themselves when they're just kind of getting started on this?
You- Give yourself a couple of months
Okay.
because at the end of the day, like you said, you won't unless you have a item that's sought after that a lot
Mhm.
of people want. That sale may not come that easy. So give yourself like a couple months to test out different items,
Mhm.
take the pictures, create the listings, and just see what works and see what works and see what doesn't work. That's
Mhm.
one. Um, like you could start off gung ho in the beginning, be like, yeah, I'm gonna make $100 doing this on eBay, doing this, and you may end up not liking it. So
Mhm.
like you got to give yourself some grace and give yourself some time.
Okay. I don't know. You may not know this, Jason. I just thought about it because I'm like, I was like, I need to get my son on this because
Yeah.
he always, he asks me to run him something all the time. I'm like, hey, I was like, you got these shoes. Why don't you go and try to sell them? And I'm sure I could check, like the end user agreement, whatever. Is there an age minimum on eBay that you know of?
To
Can
be honest, yeah, you have to be 18
18? Okay.
or you got to be, but if I think they had something where if the parent created an account for them, you could do that, but don't quote
Hmm.
me on that because I can't
Okay.
I can't remember if that's still legit. But
Okay.
I think you have to be 18. But I think a parent can create like a minor account for an eBay person for like an eBay child to do it. But
Okay.
I may have to do a little bit more research because
Yeah.
I really can't remember since I've been doing it so long.
Yeah, it's no problem. If nothing else, I have an eBay account set up. I can just get my son to work it. Right? But hey,
Yeah,
this
that
is
that could
it.
definitely work. Yeah.
Take them pictures, upload it. This is your job. And I might actually let you keep some of the money if you sell some.
Yeah.
Man, well, I asked you the question earlier, Jason, as far as like, hey, what was kind of like, your biggest home run since you've been doing eBay. So now I gave you some time to think about it, since you've been doing the eBay game for a while. So I allowed you the opportunity to kind of go back and think. So what was like your best purchase and your best margin on a transaction?
Man, I can't remember the best thing that I purchased, but I definitely can remember what my biggest sale. I
Okay.
had I won an iPad at a conference.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. Okay.
yeah, I won an iPad, and this was like years ago. Man, I ended up
Mhm.
selling it for $400, man. So that was
Woo!
yeah,
All right.
exactly, exactly. And then there's been several times where I purchased, like I never forget. I this is where I messed up, and this is something that I want people that's listening to this to take from me. I was on I didn't do my research as good as I thought I did. But
Mhm.
I had purchased the Memphis Grizzlies basketball jersey for
Okay.
$6 at a thrift store.
Mhm.
Listed it for 120. That jersey sold in like 30 seconds.
Oh, I mean, you waited way too low,
Way too low. Like
huh?
I probably could have made 300. And this was like 2016. So I was still pretty much 2016, 2017. So I was just now I was selling, but I wasn't doing the research like I should have been. Yeah, but
Mm.
that has happened. But I've also also purchased shoes for like $10, sold them for 200 before.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, I used to make a killing with the Jordans a few years ago. Like
Hmm.
going to the thrift stores, getting the Jordans for like anywhere between $7 to $12 and making at least 150 plus off of them.
Oh, wow. I know you mentioned the iPad made me think about I want a pair of Beats.
Oh
I
wow,
mean, I
okay.
want a pair of Beats a couple years back at the conference, and I was like, I don't need these Beats. So, I mean, as soon as they called me and it's like, hey, it's like, good news, your name got drawn. And
Yep.
as soon as that FedEx came to me, literally, I took a picture of the FedEx package right there. I took a picture of it. I cut it open. I took
Yep.
another picture. I was like, this is fresh out of the box. I wanted to say at the conference, I don't want these. I sold them beats, I think, for $100. And I
Can't
think at that
beat
point
that.
it was going like for 200.
Yeah.
I went and bought me some some $20. I remember some new $20 headphones. I was rocking and rolling.
I ain't
I was
mad at you.
I was okay, man. That's great. Well, Jason, I appreciate the information that you have shared here with our audience. And like you said, in today's climate and in the economy, we should be looking at all available options to
Hmm.
generate revenue to make sure that we have an emergency fund that we continue to pay down our debt because we don't know what unforeseen may happen. So I
For
want to
sure.
thank you for sharing with us. For individuals who want to continue to connect with you, learn more about eBay or the other revenue stream opportunities that you kind of go into, where can
Mhm.
individuals connect with you at?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can first off check out my website, mymoneychronicles.com. I have tons of articles about eBay, but not just eBay. Like I do other side hustles too, but I also sell on other platforms such as Mercari, Poshmark, and even Facebook Marketplace. And once you get into this resale game, you'll realize that some items sell better on other platforms than eBay, depending on the
Mm.
year or depending on the time. But you can follow me there. You can follow me on YouTube at My Money Chronicles. I'm also on Twitter at money_chronicle, and I also have an Instagram account too called My Money Chronicles One.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Jason. Definitely go over, show Jason some love, and we appreciate him for giving us his time and information today. As always, I want to thank you all for coming here. My name is Nick Johnson, and I'm going to remind you to trust the process. Have a great day.
Thank you.